Here we are, this is the 10th year of the Internet Dating Conference. We've just finished the 33rd conference and we are quite exhausted. That was a hell of a 75 speakers, no less. So, is this actually a record attendance too?
Actually 75 with the social media and the viral summit. It was 85 speakers, so it was the highest number we've ever had. And because the session was so large in terms of the number of sessions that were going on at once, both myself and Mark Brooks couldn't possibly cover this properly in terms of giving you a review. So we added Kevin Fang here, who's an affiliate from Moxie Media, and he covered most of the affiliate sessions, so he's going to give you his input.
We're chime in here. So the primary session I attended was the affiliate marketing methods area, and what I'll say right now as an affiliate, the value I got in this session was incredibly valuable. So I mean, minus all the great contacts I made, they're going to take my campaigns from 0 to 30%. Just looking at cake marketing, mobile optimization, and just proper A/B split testing was just, it was mind blowing. So if you're an affiliate, I mean, this is definitely where you need to be. As a mobile marketing affiliate, I actually learned this in the session, and this is actually from Dylan Stuff from Revenue Ads, and he taught me that with the cake marketing platform that they actually offer back-end mobile optimization without a specific tracker. Now I can see all the variables that I need to succeed as an affiliate. So basically, the carrier, device, platform, what have you, and all this is available through their platform, and I didn't know that.
Were you in that session as well?
I took a look in, and one of the takeaways from that is if you're not doing split testing, my goodness, you should be. A good, very basic tool to use is Optimizely. That's about the simplest, low, but easy to use A/B tester you can use.
So then on Thursday, on the 17th, we had the keynote speaker, which was Stephen Baker, the director of the Federal Trade Commission in the Midwest region. He'd been alerted of several things going on in the dating industry, and that's the reason why he came.
He's only been working for the FTC for 30 years. So this is a considerable person to be addressing us and giving us insight as to what they're looking at. And what they're looking at is fakesters, people who are, sites that are putting up rogue profiles and rogue marketing practices. The resounding part that made an impression on me is the way they deal with companies that are committing this kind of fraud. What they've done in other industries is investigate companies, and the companies have no idea they're being investigated until there's a knock at the door one day. They're asked to leave. They have a team of people there that basically kick them out of their own office, get the passwords to the computers, and shut them down and freeze all their assets.
Freeze all the assets.
Freeze all the assets. I mean, he went through a number of cases.
He went after affiliates. They went after affiliate programs and knocked them down.
The strategy is just basically take everything you own.
They're
happy when you have precisely 0 left. And now the other quote...
I wonder which one's larger, them or the Justice Department.
Well, the quote was that any site that is using shills, fake messaging, fake winks, that sort of thing, he said, quote, I would take about a minute to start an action against these companies.
That's right.
So,
he's very familiar
with... You know who you are.
You know who you are, and I can tell you this much, if you have gotten in the news, they know who you are as well.
This playing field needs to be leveled, and he did a little bit of leveling.
They're not the old government that you know that was 10 steps behind what's going on the internet. I mean, they're very familiar with IP addresses, click fraud, all sorts of things, and especially on affiliate marketing ends of it. They explained that the actual merchant themselves was liable, the affiliate network was liable, and the affiliate was liable. They'd go after all three. Some had to pay $1.2 million, one had to pay something like $20 million just in fines that they had to pay because an affiliate was conducting fraudulent methods of marketing. Basically, the reason why they were there was these guys generally have enough work to do. They don't need more work. They have a lot of bad guys to go after. And if they see an industry starting to show this bad guy mentality, he will, get on a plane from Chicago and fly all the way down to Vegas to speak in front of the entire industry at one time and say basically 2 things. You can either comply with what we're asking for, and this is what we're asking for in terms of good faith and good practices, or you can get out of Dodge. I think going forward after that address, I think any companies that fall under his radar at that point in time, woe unto them. That's what I say.
On the whole, this industry does have a good relationship with him. From what he's seen, the FTC in general, he has found the industry to be easy to work with. Yeah.
He loves the dating industry. As a matter of fact, he got married last year because of online dating. He showed a picture of him.
He's a fan.
Yeah, big fan, big fan. He wants to see everybody. He wants to see this industry doing the right thing, as the 3 of us do as well. Next, we had the state of the dating industry with Mark Brooks. That's your 9th year you've been given that, I think.
Yeah.
Give us a quick rundown. What's the state of the dating industry in 2012 going into 2013?
Shifted largely mobile, and we're grappling with how to make money on mobile. I went through 6 different ways that the industry could and is and should be making money on mobile, and there's been quite a lot of acquisitions. A few companies are on the acquisition warpath now, and I also gave a model for how to look at valuation. So I gave 11 things to think about when you're breaking down valuation of a company. I'd like to carry that conversation online further.
How are revenues, compared to 2011? Are they going down in North America or up?
Up 3.5%, according to iBizWorld. The industry is $2 billion a year in the US.
Okay, so a modest rise. But
yeah, and they're predicting similar, a single-digit growth, in short.
We had the CEO therapy session. And we had, in that case, 4 speakers. Each were brand new startups, with one exception, actually. VEGGIE, which has actually been around for about 10 or 11 years. It just turned out that the CEO had just bought the business, knew nothing about online dating, and wanted advice on how to prove what he had. He told how many users he had, he told how much revenue he had, and it was just an open, directly open to everybody in the room. What do you got? Everybody, all 4 of them received pretty warm response in terms of advice from all the CEOs. Any of them stand out with you?
I'm sorry, I just can't get over the mud wrestling. He did mud wrestling.
I saw it yesterday.
Thinking of mud wrestling.
We had Mike Gregory, a new dating startup from Wooyah. He was the first. He was also our brand sponsor. He had a pretty unique way of courting women through false subpoena, but it looks like a real subpoena. And there was an interesting debate.
What was the feedback on it?
They were saying, hey, don't charge money until you get about 20,000 users, and then at that point, then start charging. Some people thought about. Because he needs a user base, and they also suggested that alone is not worthy of a dating site. That was one CEO's opinion. Other people differed. It has to be an add-on to something else. Yeah. That the brand should be something else. So that was a suggestion. Another speaker was Nick Soman from LikeBright.
Quick overview. He is Friends of Friends matching. So we've seen Engage.com, we've seen a couple of models like this, but he's a powerhouse. A really clear thought. I mean, he's taken the best of the technology and looked at social networking, and I think he's
new site, but social dating. And
he just got funding from Microsoft. No?
Right, from what we're starting to see from the trend, especially from this again, all these social dating sites are having problems with revenue models. That's what seems to be the common thread. The other speaker was Trevor Chidester from Friendlylook. I didn't hide it. It looked almost identical in many, many respects to Facebook, and I know that's what he was trying to emulate. However, it had more of a dating sort of theme to it. One of his things was interesting. You could choose how many levels. I want to see when it was 2 points of contact away, 3 points contact away from myself. That was some of the things he had. He had some interesting things there, some potential ways of making money. It was a new site, a young star, a site that still needed a lot of help and a lot of work, but the industry was willing to help him in terms of advice. We also had the session on dating affiliates with Thomas Dietzel on CPAWay.
Yeah, I thought this was incredibly eye-opening. I think that most affiliates, when you get to affiliate marketing, one thing you do is you join a bunch of networks, and then you assume that all the offers you have are just good, transparent, and you'll make money off them. He actually brought some light into this, is that a lot of the times you think it's your creative and it's your landing page that's not good, and that's why your campaign's not profitable. But in fact, it's not the case. The case is that network is either brokering from another network, or their contract or agreement with the advertiser is non-optimal, and that's why you're not making money. Just having Thomas kind of shed light, and I'm not going to name names obviously, but kind of shed light on how that works, that's huge.
I'm not getting it. So in other words, I join, let's say, an affiliate network.
Exactly.
And I send a link off to dating site ABC.
Exactly. You
right?
pay $20 for traffic, and you're trying to make money. You're trying to arbitrage money.
Right. Let's say I'm getting whatever. I'd say I get a sign up and I get $5 for the sign up. Right?
Exactly. You think your campaign is not profitable, so you spend $20 and you get $15 back, and you're thinking, oh geez, like I have the best creators, the best landing page, and it should be profitable. And it's not because of your campaign. It's because the network itself has a faulty deal. Thomas prides himself.
Are you saying my links are being scraped or something, or what? I mean, if I'm sending, if I spend $20 and I'm supposed every sign up I get it should be, let's say, $5. So you're saying if I give him 15, that means I only get 3 sign-ups. You're saying in reality I would have gotten 4 or 5?
Exactly. It's a matter of trust. A lot of advertisers do not trust specific networks, and it's not meant to screw the affiliate. It's meant to protect themselves. And Thomas prides himself in being the only pretty much scrub-free network out there. And
so as the link is going through the network, it's being cut.
The advertiser doesn't trust the network, so therefore they're only going to credit them X amount of leads when it should be 100%. So you know what? It's not a matter of, like I said, screwing the affiliate. It's a matter of trust. If you're not split testing networks, that's huge. You have to get on that because you can run the exact same offer on 4 networks and get 4 different results. And I thought that was one of the bigger takeaways from that specific session.
I know, for example, as an affiliate, there's certain affiliate networks I wouldn't touch.
You wouldn't touch
all people in the room watching us behind this camera that hate those networks equally as well. But I didn't realize that the networks also deal with each other, and so when you send a link, you're not going directly to the merchant, you're going through another.
You're going through, and sometimes it's even worse, because then you're going through, in some cases, not going to name names, but 3 different networks. One network will pull a link from another network, and now you've got 2 middlemen.
How do you know this? But I'm saying, if I sign up for a network, how am I going to know this?
You know what? There's no way to do that. But the only way to do that, you need to come out and you have to get FaceTime and you have to meet people. Me coming out here and getting FaceTime with all these CEOs, you know, that's incredibly invaluable because that gives me transparency as an affiliate. And if I don't have that kind of relationship, this is going to happen, right? So, if you think you're going to join an affiliate network and just make money, you can, don't get me wrong, but trust me, you're doing yourself a great disservice if you're not making the right proper contacts. And I thought that Tom was, you know, shedding this light onto everyone, and like I said, kind of priding himself in the, you know, one of the only scrub-free networks out there. That's huge.
What do we have after that? We had the eminent CEO and owner of eHarmony come to this conference and speak himself.
Well, now we know the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. So basically, as you know, 2004, the end of, he raised $110 million, which bought 30% of the company. And then he bought it back for $158 million.
That's right.
He's got the ownership and he's CEO again. We basically wanted to get an insight as to what drives him, what his vision is. He is very social good driven, I must say.
Also an eminent gentleman.
Yes.
If there was.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, if there was. We had time for the audience to ask questions as well. I asked, okay, what about acquisitions? What are you looking to buy? And he was looking at senior dating sites only. That's all he wants to buy. That's it. At least that's all he was willing to reveal. However, every other acquisition that I know of in the dating business is direct. You know, the owners deal direct with each other. He said no. He would only go through a reputable broker, and that's it. It's like, you want to get bought by eHarmony, you have to go through a broker. They won't deal with you directly. That was a shock. The other thing was his advertising.
First month he did advertising on TV.
Television advertising.
It was $500,000, and he got $500,000 back at the end of the month.
Right.
The second month was $950,000. He got the $950,000 back at the end of the month, and so it went on. He raised $110 million. The metrics on the business were fantastic, and I'm sure they're still very good.
What did he spend in that last year? I was like $150 million or something like that, just on TV advertising.
I think he said that he spent $600 million in all. I mean, in terms
no,
of
but I mean just last year, I think it was something like $150 million.
But now the company is, I think, down from 320 employees to
158 or something.
Over 100.
He's watching what's going on, even though he's sitting
reshaping the company.
That's true. So then we had the awards that evening. Julie Furman won 4 years consecutively Best Matchmaker. Every company, by the way, that won the awards, fair and square. I mean, it was 2,700 votes this year. The nominations were 1,551 nominations. The changes were best dating site was Cupid.com. The best dating software provider and software as a service is Dating Factory.
Which was very close, I think, wasn't it? That was good.
The one that was the closest actually was best payment processor.
Safe Charge.
Yeah. He won by 0.7%.
Wow.
That was that close. Optimal payments. We had some new categories. Best dating coach, Nancy Miller. She won that. Best niche dating site was ChristianConnection.co.uk. And then, of course, we gave Dr. Warren the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is what it stands for, something that you've done that benefits not just yourself, but the entire industry. And there's very few names that fall on that list, and Dr. Warren was one of them.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of exposure, he's been very public with the TV advertising. I can't think of anybody else who is as much of a rock star, dare I say, in the industry. I mean, he's been very, in the personal business, we need to be a little bit more personal. I don't see too many companies that have such big personas, focal point as spokespeople. So
the other point, which I noticed also from the awards coming in and the winners, this is now the 4th year of the awards, and what I've learned from this is that the awards are representing basically a bellwether for future leaders, or future market leaders, should I say. And that's what it's starting to show itself as, if you look at the history of the awards and look at what has happened to those companies. And it's not because of the awards. I think it has to deal with the determination for the culture, should I say, from the top to bottom of those company employees. And I'm starting to see a paradigm shift going on in the industry where there are some that are driven, and there are others which, quite frankly, they don't care. They don't care about anything. Not the awards, but I'm just saying they don't care. They're resting on their laurels, and I don't think they're going to make it if they continue with that kind of culture. Just an observation.
Enough said.
Then we had that crazy party. If we're in Vegas, we're going to do it right.
As an affiliate, I've seen a lot of affiliate parties, but this one for sure takes a cake. I'll sum it up for you. It's one affiliate versus 5 girls, and if you're an affiliate, you've been to most affiliate parties, it's a bunch of dudes, and I'll say this, and I really mean this, was for sure the coolest party ever in industry or affiliate history. So I really hope you do this again, honestly. I had a lot of fun last night. I've got gash marks on my arm.
That was from something else.
That was from something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was actually from his hangover.
But no,
I don't know what happened.
When it's all said and done, coolest event. I really hope you make some video footage there, because
I got 2
hands down, the coolest event ever. And I hate to say, it's probably gonna be the highlight of my year. And it's only January.
I filmed you. It's a wonderful video. I must say the CEO of VEGGIE did very well. I mean, he just looked like he was being completely lambasted, but he just wouldn't go down. He wouldn't get.
Yeah, a couple of guys like that. Tom Dietzel was the funniest.
Back up. Yeah.
And then also it was Sean Kelly from Friendlylook. Because
great.
he did as long as he could until he was completely exhausted, and then they just piled on top of him. And for those that woke up early in the morning and were able to make it, they were at a panel on dating disruption methods.
And one of the questions was,
both sides of it.
You know, how is this changing society? Some of the executives have stated that it is having an effect on marriage, but maybe not the effect that we think. Because of the choice, we're kind of spoiled with choice. So we discussed that point. Is it raising divorce rates? Quite possibly. It's having a contribution towards that. And is that a bad thing? Well, there's a lot of people in not so happy relationships. There's a dynamic here which executives somewhat agree on. That he's shone a light on, and a whole slew of other things.
Then we had the dating algorithm panel with Larry Magid from the CBS News, as well as Steve Carter from eHarmony, Mike McNichols from Perfect Match, as well as Ren Solange from Integrated Knowledge Systems.
We're talking about the various approaches of matchmaking, their different perspectives. Now, the interesting thing is that Steve Carter's really opening up. I mean, he actually said in the presentation that if you're starting out on this road, and your goal is to help couples, help people get together, and you want some guidelines on what science is to look at, he is willing to help.
That
amazing.
That's a remarkable change.
I mean, he spent a lot of time.
eHarmony would never discuss dating algorithms at iDate or any other event.
There's an opening up going on here. I think part of this is, for Warren, is communicated to us all. I mean, the scope is that he wants to lower the divorce rates and have a significant social effect, and that includes helping people beyond his company, helping companies that are wanting to do good. So he's interested in lifting the sentiment in the industry, elevating it. And that's a good thing. And that was reflected in what Carter has to say. So now we need to take him up on it. So.
You also had Michael McQuown. He did a session on A/B testing, which actually he spoke about years ago. He spoke on it in 2007 or 2006. Basically, almost no one did A/B testing. Now it's considered almost a requirement, certainly from the film perspective. And he said even like companies like FriendFinder, they're doing it constantly. And he said you're either a big company, and if you've got to be doing it, small companies, it should be at least considering it at the minimum. And then Kevin, super affiliate in the dating business, gave a presentation as well on driving quality mobile leads for dating sites. And I walked in, and I mean, my eyes were just bulging out. He had just data on the screen, and it was like size 6 font. I mean, it was just so many lists upon lists upon lists of sites you can use for just mobile advertising and stuff like that. He just wanted to like give you everything he's got. So without giving us all those names, what are the highlights?
That's my inner agent coming out. But anyways, to give you the basic highlights, don't use professional images. That's huge, guys. Everyone thinks stock photo. That's wrong. You want people's eyes gravitate towards amateur photos because that reflects a profile pic, whether it be Facebook or Plenty of Fish. So use that methodology and apply that to all your creative making campaigns. Also, go after expensive devices, right? If a person owns an iPad, they have more disposable income, which means if you target that specific device, you're going to be able to get more paid sales at your bottom line. And make sure you have mobile tracking. That's so important. I see all these guys just using conventional tracking solutions like Prospect 202. At this current moment, these are antiquated, and you need new solutions to make sure you can break your stuff, you're tracking down to a very granular level. So if you're not doing that, you have to.
You had a part where you said something about blocking Wi-Fi.
Yes, that's huge.
You said, in other words, if I got an iPhone and I'm using my Wi-Fi network, you're actually blocking me from accessing the site.
Exactly.
With the Wi-Fi connection?
You know what? Basically, when I'm doing ad buys, I want to block Wi-Fi people, and I can't give you rationale as to why this is, and ask any big mobile affiliate out there. Wi-Fi traffic, 9 times out of 10, just doesn't convert.
So you're saying if I'm using the 3G or 4G network, I'm more likely to convert than on the Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
Same device?
Same device, but you're logged on, through a mobile site, through Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, Cricket Boost Mobile, and you're not on Wi-Fi. So you could be the exact same guy, but you're in the convenience of your own home, using the Wi-Fi on your device, and then for some reason,
I could be on the bus, man, using 4G. I'm not going to have time to fill out a credit card.
Based off my
evidence,
yes,
yeah.
you will convert when you're on the bus and not when you're at home. Oddly enough, that doesn't make any sense. Ask any big mobile affiliate out there. Wi-Fi traffic is 9 times out of 10 bad traffic. Hey, split test it. I always say split test everything, but if you want a quick shortcut, just axe it out. App traffic and Wi-Fi traffic. Cut it.
And then we had Pete McGreevy also at the same time as you, unfortunately, 2 mobile sessions, so that was pretty tough. But he focused on SMS marketing, legal aspects. He said not much has changed since he gave his presentation 6 months ago, that basically all these regulations have been written a long time ago. The Federal Communications Commission and the Federal Trade Commission, which might come after you if you're committing SMS spam, it's not that. It's a lawsuit from Verizon. It is a lawsuit from AT&T, and they do not want SMS spam. They will stand up against it tooth and nail, and those lawsuits will break you. They will find a way to do it. That's one thing. And he gave certain methods that he felt on cleaning your list and make sure you have certain opt-in procedures so that if you're sending SMS to these people, that there's no question beyond any doubt in anyone's mind that these people have opted in for this. And the opt-out method is equally as easy as well. Then we have the final panel. Everybody saw the industry basically going up in revenue for this next year, with one exception, Dan Warcroft. He saw it staying steady.
Stagnant, which is not true.
Well,
obviously.
it is. It's single-digit growth.
It's growth.
It is, but it's relatively steady. Low single-digit growth.
There's another question that was out was growth markets. People seem to like Brazil and some of the Latin American areas. Southeast Asian markets like Vietnam, they're seeing some growth.
Yeah, this is huge, I think. In a lot of these, second or third world countries, people don't have computers, but what do they have? They have cell phones. They can, dish out the, $100-200 and buy an Apple iPhone. So while they don't have a conventional web device, they have a mobile phone. And on the up and coming, obviously, is, in my personal opinion, mobile and social. And the ability to target these people in these countries for, literally the cost of 0.001 cents.
That's what Tom Simon at Google said. Some of these countries, computers are basically non-existent. He says it's smartphones that are pretty much dominating the scene. He says that's what you want to look at in those growth markets.
Last thing I'll say here, I'm 26. I think my generation, especially the mobile phones, is kind of up and coming. Obviously, I guess our generation versus previous generations, we have a certain, we'll call it, set of habits and behaviors that are very unique to our demographic people, right? In my personal opinion, my generation, to sum it all up, we're ADD, we have no patience, and we want things done right now. And I think one of the core discussions at the Final Affiliate panel is the person who's able to cater to these needs, whether they be realistic or unrealistic, but is able to deliver on those needs, is going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, the next Facebook, the next eHarmony.
Mike McQuown asked a question to the entire audience. How many of you guys have used your own product to go out, or any online dating site for that matter, to actually go on dates?
5 dates in the last month. He was very specific.
That's what he said, 5 dates.
5 dates in the last month.
And 2 people raised their hand, 1 person raised their hand. It was like next to nobody.
Yeah.
And he says, the fact is, you're not using your own product. And you don't know your own audience.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, observation that came out of it. That was pretty much the conference. We still got 1 day remaining, which is the Viral Summit. It was good having everybody here. It was a fun time. That's all I can say.
Absolutely.
Well done, Mo.
Well, thank you.
Well done, guys. Good work. Good work.
Good
Stuff.